What are the best products or routines that have actually helped you stay vibrant? That's from Aging subreddit, which I help to moderate. And in case you're not there, I'd like to introduce you to the concept of micro and give you a few practical daily habits which take no time to execute and help me to start and keep exercising, to meditate out of stress and pain when it's time to do dental cleaning, or even if you ever noticed how time speeds up more and more every year and life just flies by. Well, there is a way to slow it down and make more meaningful and joyful, because it's all locked in here. But neuroscience has the keys. So let's get moving. My grandma lived to be over 100 years old, and you know what she never did in her life? She never went to a gym to exercise. She did something else. And my well-educated guess that if you ask most centenarians, you'll get the same answers, which we're going to transform in this video and apply to our modern, busy, behind-the-desk lives. Doesn't mean that not going to gym is optimal, and you should definitely strive. But we all know what we should do, but we're just humans, or monkeys, who are just trying to reach the stars and see the future, and sometimes life just happens. You get too busy or too overwhelmed or just lazy, and that's when you need a safety net, something that would carry you and me to that 100 years mark. And so I went to Reddit and asked almost 2 million people to give me their best ideas. I have started with my grandma's example. She lived on the 3rd floor and took stairs up and down every day. And then we got rolling into some practical, some hilarious, and a few special ideas which I'm going to leave for the dessert, because they expand and improve your mental state as well. Alright, number 2. When you go to work, shopping or wherever, park as far as you can from the entrance. Why? It's much quicker to find a spot like that. It's going to save you a few dings on your car in the long run, and of course it will give you extra steps while you get to the store. Next, when you get into the store, try to remember these 2 words. Farmers carry. That's how you improve your grip, your shoulders, and exercise abs all at the same time. So don't touch the cart, but instead pick a basket or 2 and practice carrying. The extra benefit? It's going to save you some money as well, because when you carry, you don't buy all that crap that you don't really need. Number 4. Standing in line, stand on one leg and count. Balance is extremely important to avoid injuries, especially as we get older, so get some free training in any line, anywhere. And by the way, you don't need to implement all the tips I'm going to give you. Just pick 1 or 2 which makes the most sense for you now and get going with it. Get going. Going, yeah, pun intended. When I have started this process, I've started with just one thing. This one, in fact. Active teeth brushing. Just like that. You brush and do some reverse calf raises at the same time. And it's what, 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening, 4 minutes total every day. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you sum it up, it's actually almost 30 minutes each week, which is not too shabby if you ask me. Your knees are going to be extremely happy that you gave them this attention. And then the regular calf raises, that's even easier whenever you get driven somewhere. Listen to music and pump to the beat. Or if you're working behind a computer like I do, guess what? You can do them too, pretty much anytime. I do it right now. Just like that. And speaking about computers, the easiest way to get hours and hours of movement in your life is to take all calls or attend all online meetings while walking. On the other hand, if you're not working, but actually playing a computer game, each time you see a long loading screen, do some push-ups or lunges. That's going to make all game choices so much more meaningful and will elevate your gaming experience to the next level. I haven't been exercising for months, but I was playing Baldur's Gate, and guess what? My PR and push-ups has increased. I can do more now, plus gaming is much more fun. So, before we get to the specials, if you have something to add to this list, please write it down for me in the comments so I can try to incorporate them into my safety net as well, because you never know what's going to work the best. Okay, now let's get to the extras, which are not just physical, but also mental. For example, another great opportunity to exercise both your legs and your core is to do some squats when pumping gas. And judging by the comments, a lot of people find it absurd. Well, but I guarantee you, if you think it's too awkward, the only thing which is going to happen, you're going to get some pump. And you're going to extend your comfort zone, which is priceless, absolutely priceless. I think Tim Ferriss advocated in his 4 hours work week to go through the exercise of asking for a discount in Starbucks, just for that, for the comfort zone extension, which helps with everything in your life.
So like for the next 10 coffees that you get, each time ask for a 10% discount. You can't say you're doing an experiment. You can't say that Tim Ferriss told you so. You just have to ask for 10% off. It doesn't matter if they say yes or not. It makes you more comfortable with discomfort.
But it puts the other person through the discomfort as well, so here's my take on it. Did you know that the chairs in the airport are very stable and have just the right grip to practice L-sits? So here's your ultimate challenge when you fly somewhere next time. Try the L-sit. Of course, it's more like an icing on a cake, because flying doesn't happen every day, but what does happen every day to the most of us is cooking, which is always a great opportunity to get some dancing in your life. Remember what Gandalf said? Dance, you fools! It's not just an awesome way to be more active, but it also instantly improves your mood, because you lead your physiology with you lead your psychology with your physiology. Anyway, they are like that, one leads another. And if you have seen my video about practical ways to be more happy, I think it's an exercise number 5 on the list. Yes, that's something you could watch later, the advanced happiness system. But today, right now, let's just cover the basics which come from another micro meditations. They're very beginner friendly and form the foundation of stress and happiness you'll be able to apply right away. Meditation is a shortcut to happiness. The sooner you start to practice it and get better at self-reflection, the better the rest of your life is going to be. So that's what we're going to talk about here and learn. I used to believe that the last 10 pounds, or this promotion, or that vacation would make me happy. And then, inevitably, when I reach the goal, the dopamine, the happy hormone, would go up and boom, crash below the baseline. Because that's what it does to keep you hungry for more. So it's really about the baseline. That's where the life actually happens. That's where the true joy and peace are found. And even if you're in dentist chair and the walking is about to begin, meditation can help a lot. The second thing I was totally wrong about, like many other people, is that you have to sit in a particular position or do some special pranayama breathing to get to the benefits. Bullshit! You can sneak micro meditations here and there through the day into your life without any special prep or time requirements. So that's why I do practice several styles to better fit into the different situations. The traditional self-awareness, more active body-to-mind connection, and the last one, self-reflection style, I've just picked up from The Power of Now, amazing book, if you're in the right place. And that self-reflection style, everyone can learn in 15 seconds top. I'll explain them all shortly. For the context, 7 years ago, I was young and healthy, and then suddenly got sick with Lyme and got into depression and anxiety induced by the disease and by the cure. The meditation was the survival ring, which brought me up and carried through. So back then, I started to do regular self-awareness meditation. That's where you choose and focus on any feeling in your body. You can focus on your breathing, how it makes the nostrils cold, get into the lungs, goes out. You can do it anywhere, anytime. In fact, you can try it now, right now with me. Or for some people and situations, it can be easier to focus on the sounds. Just pause for a second and try to hear everything you can hear. Computer humming, heating system, maybe birds, highway in the distance. Or just focus on pure body sensations. Your butt on a chair, feel it? Feet on the ground, feel them, right? At the same time as your butt. And that actually works wonders when you're in the dentist chair. Give it a try next time. Pay attention to your butt and to the soles touching the chair, and you will feel much less here because your mind has only that much capacity. Or my favorite, next time you're on airplane and feeling of anxiety and what if starts to creep in, focus on the body sensation and erase that fear. And that's the whole premise of meditation, to have a handle on your default network, which runs future fears, past regrets, all anxiety, self-talk, looping. Sometimes it can be useful, right? But most of the time it just sucks away your energy and processing power. So when you gradually learn to shut down that chattering monkey brain, all that power goes into the joy and creativity and sparkle. Second style, which also doesn't require any special seating or environment, is active mind-body connection. One of the reasons exercise is so good for stress reduction is because when you lift the weight and focus on the muscle, right, as you should, the default network goes bye-bye and takes away all the problems. Now, you can do the same when washing dishes. Instead of talking in your head, focus on the water temperature and how it feels on your hands. If you're walking, stop the planning or scrolling, pay attention to the sounds of birds in the trees, cars on the road, gravel under the feet. And when you are done, you'll feel so much more refreshed in here. Why? Because when you focus on now, you get grounded in reality. Let me tell you a secret. The thing about the past and the future, they don't exist. Third style is self-reflection, and it works wonders when you cannot fall back asleep in the middle of the night. Ask yourself, what my next thought is going to be, and wait for it. Wait. Oh, here it is. How interesting. Let it go and repeat. Ask yourself again, what my next thought is going to be. Oh, curious. Repeat again. You see, the goal is not to stop thinking. The goal is to observe thinking. And that in turn helps to observe and better control the emotions. And if you can do that, congratulations, you know self-reflection. It's much better than Kung Fu. And that's how you level up from regular monkey to smart one. Nowadays I start every day with a 30 seconds gratitude meditation. I literally raise the blinds and just say thank you to the universe to open the loop, which makes wonders to prime your mind to see, no, not to see, to notice and appreciate the good stuff around you. Because we always have something. We just skip it, but this kind of opens a new gate. And then I close the loop in the evening with journaling, which is essential to absorb and not waste all the goodness. Of course, it's far from easy, especially to start. And I had a few problems, but that's where we use the concept of micro-journaling. And wow, it did so much to my life. That's an older video, which, well, made me cry a little. So thank you for sharing these moments with me. Starting journaling is easy. I have started at least 9 times already. Works great for a few days, but then, inevitably, other things or pure laziness takes over and bam, another dead attempt. But this time, I have decided to change things a little bit and give it a kiss of life. Kiss as in keep it short, stupid. And challenge myself to 30 days of journaling, but only 30 seconds each day. Can I do at least that? And will it change my life? Life flies by. I swear, going to first grade was just only a few years ago. And you know, I don't feel old. In fact, I feel exactly the same. I haven't changed. But when did my young and joyful parents turn into these old husks? And that kid of mine who just drove away on his own, how long do we have? How fast will it all pass? But what if I told you that you can slow the time down? And not just slow it, but also fill it with happy and meaningful moments. That's at least one of the promises of journaling. And overall, journaling sounds very good on paper. paper. It's like having a quiet but supportive friend. You can unload all your stress and looping to his shoulders, process emotions, gain insights, and even improve memory. But if I want to keep it short, really short, I have to pick the most important things to write down. So, what should I pick? In my free time, I try to motivate my friends and random strangers to live to 100 years old and even more by design. Because nowadays it's very much possible, and the more people subscribe to the idea, the easier it gets for everyone. And that's why I do it. I mean, it would be crazy not to. But in our extra busy world, good luck with all that. Only selected few are ready to invest 5 minutes now to get 5 years later. Can you? So I always try to improve my game and learn how to tell better stories to steer people into the better future and sometimes against their basic monkey urges. And along the way, you make friends. And my friend Ryan has recommended me a book.
Storytelling books that you gotta read to up your storytelling game and change your life. Part 1. Okay, so number 1 is Storyworthy by Matthew Dix.
And that's where I actually found my answer to journaling question. What you can write down under 30 seconds each day as a few words describing the most meaningful moment or moments of that day. Let me give you a few examples, just from the first week. Mom and cardboard boxes. I visited my mom the other day, and she is desperate to be helpful, to be needed, and she offered me empty cardboard boxes, and I just kissed her and took them. First ride out. My kid, who I hated taxiing around all these years, just got into a car and his very first time driving alone. And I feel proud, worried, relieved, stressed, all at the same time. And small moments like this, which would otherwise might have passed unnoticed or been already forgotten, now all here, there. But the problem is, by the end of the first week, regardless of how great it was, I started to look for the ways out, almost forgetting to put the notes in, and in a way, you kept me at it, because I felt responsible before my viewers to keep going. So there is a hump which you need to plow through. Well, let's see what our combined effort led to. By the second week of journaling, I've noticed that I actively pay more attention to all interactions with friends and family. It's like when you buy a new car and immediately start to notice other cars like yours on the road. When you keep writing about meaningful moments, your brain starts to notice those moments more often in your day-to-day life. Or even better, it nudges you to create them when nothing is happening, which leads to better connections with everyone around you. By the third week, I've started to get a feeling that time and life is slowing down. When you get on vacation and spend 7 days on the same beach, all days kinda merge into one blob. But when you go hiking, surfing, hitting historical sites, museums, best bars, and back to snorkeling, then suddenly, same 7 days, feel like 200% longer at least. Have you ever noticed that? And the same time warping effect has started to happen to me. Each day felt longer and more separated from all other days. And by the end of the month, I started to get actually addicted. Now, a day without journaling almost felt like a day lost. By the end of the third month, I have started this 30-day challenge as the last-ditch attempt to get into journaling, and I got carried away. What can I say? I think the curse is broken, and both me and the world, and maybe, hopefully, even you, are better for it. So why am I telling you all this? This channel is mostly focused on living longer by using every trick the science and medicine can provide us, but living better is no less important. And if you want to live better, I highly recommend that you try the same 30-second journaling for at least a few weeks. But if you also want to live longer, check this video next to uncover your weakest or blind spots where years of your life are quietly leaking out. Living is smart, aging is bad. See you there.